online business has sold us a completely ridiculous idea of how quickly someone should be willing to become our client. Post, click, book a call, buy. And when that doesn't happen, we are taught that something is broken in our business. But your potential clients haven't stopped buying. They're just proceeding with more caution here in 2026. They're taking longer to decide. And if you keep panicking every time that yes is not happening right away, you're making it even harder for them to hire you. I'm Maggie Patterson, and I help solo service business owners build profitable businesses that work in real life. They're steady, strategic, and free from the pressure to scale. I've been selling services for more than 20 years, and I want you to know that a potential client taking their sweet time to make a decision doesn't mean there's something wrong with your business. Today, I want to talk about what's actually happening with client decision making here in 2026, why the client yes is taking longer, and 4 specific things you can do that do not involve you panicking or creating all kinds of content randomly for Instagram, even though your clients aren't there. We all know that a lot of clients are more cautious and they're much more skeptical. They're being much more judicious with their budgets. Decisions that used to take a couple of days or a couple of weeks might take a couple of months right now. But the answer is not to freak out or to start changing everything else. I don't want you to reinvent your business. So I'm going to talk about what to do instead. Quick heads up, if you want to know where to focus in your business right now, I want you to take my quiz, The Real Life Rule. It takes about 2 minutes and the link is below. First, we need to talk about our completely unrealistic expectations around how quickly our marketing is supposed to work. Online business has completely fried our brains on this one. Post the thing, send the email, launch for 2 days, open the cart, close the cart, and you should be good to go. Magical money starts coming rolling in. If the money doesn't show up immediately, obviously something is broken. We are seriously in trouble. Your messaging is off, your niche isn't specific, your offer isn't irresistible. Maybe you need a $27 workshop. Maybe you need a funnel. Maybe you need to post more reels. Sometimes your potential clients just aren't ready yet. That's it. That is the simplest explanation. That is my official diagnosis. Think about how you're making decisions right now in your business. Are you casually dropping thousands of dollars because someone made this super cute carousel? Probably not. You're checking out the person's website. You're asking questions. You're asking a friend. You're lurking on their email list. You want to really get a feel for them. And you're thinking about whether you have the time. You're thinking about whether you have the money. And you're thinking about whether this problem is annoying enough for you to solve today, or if you can tolerate it for another 3 or 6 months. Your potential clients are doing the exact same thing you are. They're not necessarily saying no. They're considering their options. They're moving with caution. And yeah, I get that can be incredibly inconvenient when you have revenue goals and bills to pay. But you cannot force someone to make your service a priority. But what you can do is make sure that you're not giving them more reasons to hesitate. So if your potential clients are taking longer to say yes, here are the 4 things I'd focus on. Number 1, stop resetting the clock. If people are taking longer to make decisions, consistency matters so much more than you realize. And by consistency, I mean what you're saying and what you're selling. Because if you sell one thing in May and then pivot to something completely different in June and then launch a new offer in September, how exactly is your potential client going to keep up? They were halfway to understanding what you did and maybe interested, but then you totally changed everything and now they're confused. Every time you do that panicky pivot, you reset the clock. Now they have to understand the offer, the new positioning, what's included, the new problems you're solving. And if they're already cautious, congratulations. You just made it so much harder for them to buy from you. So pick the problem you want to be known for solving and stick with it. Pick the offer you want to lead with, what I call your easy yes offer. Keep talking about it because repetition is not boring when people are not paying as much attention to you as they think you are. And if the yes is taking longer, you need to give people enough time to catch up, to understand what you do. And it's way longer than you think it is. So if you're bored talking about your offer, good. Keep talking about it. That means you're on the right track. So number 2, make the decision easier. Your potential clients are already taking a little longer to decide. They should not have to read your sales page 3 times, listen to 6 podcast episodes, and inspect all of your Instagram feed to figure out what you actually do. You need to commit to being as specific as humanly possible. What ultra specific problem does your offer solve? Who exactly is it for? What will be different after working with you? And how do you help them get there? If those answers aren't obvious, fix that before you start looking for another marketing strategy. This is why I use what I call my POP framework with offers, which stands for positioning, outcome, and process. Your positioning helps people understand the problem you solve so they can immediately recognize themselves and why this might matter to them. The outcome helps them see the progress they can make when they work with you, and the process helps them understand how you're going to get them from point A to point B. But making the decision easier isn't only about understanding your offer. You also need to consider the size of the first yes, because somewhere along the way, the online business world convinced service providers that every offer needed to be this high ticket, massive, premium, all inclusive transformation. 6 months, 12 months, $20,000, a massive commitment before anyone knows what it's like to work with you. And then we wonder why people are taking so long to decide. Sometimes the problem is that people don't want to work with you. It's that the first yes you're asking the client to make is just too damn big. The smartest thing you can do is create a focused way for someone to start working with you. A strategy project, an audit, a defined sprint, something that reduces risk, builds trust, and solves a very specific problem for them. This is what I call an easy yes offer. It helps make that first decision feel proportionate to the problem they're trying to solve. Think of it as a Costco sample where if you weren't sure about that new flavor of popcorn, but then you tasted it and now you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy 3 big bags. That's what an easy yes offer should do for you. All right, number 3, we want to give our clients reasons to trust you, because we all know trust is so much harder to earn. And I'm really good at what I do. Marketing is not going to cut it. Neither is another testimonial that says, Maggie is amazing, 5 stars. Amazing at what? Your potential clients need evidence. You need to use case studies. You need to tell client stories. You need to talk about your process. You need to explain why you make certain recommendations and don't make others. Show specific examples. Show your thinking, because potential clients aren't only asking, do I like this person? They're asking, do I trust this person to solve my specific problem? Those are 2 very different questions. And I think online businesses have spent years confusing connection with credibility. And yes, people might like you. I'm sure you're lovely. They may even know your coffee order and where you went on your last vacation. But that does not automatically mean they trust you with their business and are willing to hand over the money. So if you want to shorten the distance getting people to yes, giving people meaningful reasons to believe that you understand their problem and that you can help them solve it go a long way. Don't just tell them you're an expert. Show them how you think so they can buy into the fact that you are going to get them where they want to go and that you're worth investing in. All right, number 4, stay in the conversation. No word of a lie, service providers will have 6 people say, circle back to me in September. And then they look me dead in the eye and say, Maggie, I've got nothing in my pipeline. Please stop acting like anyone who has not hired you today has completely disappeared. The person who said maybe in September, still a potential client. That past client who mentioned a project that they might want to do in November, still a potential client. The referral partner who said they know someone and will reach out to you soon is still worth keeping in touch with. It is way too easy to count people who are only actively booking calls with you and conversations with you right now. If your sales cycle are longer, you need to pay attention to the maybes. The not yet, the circle back next quarter, the people who are interested but waiting for budget approval. And then you need to stay in the conversation. I know this sounds so obvious. Follow up when you said you would. Check in with those past clients, stay in touch with those referral partners, keep marketing the problem you solve, and give people reasons to remember you. And please don't make every follow-up just checking in to see if you've made a decision. No. That's what everyone else is doing. Instead, share something useful. Show you were thinking about them. Reference your conversations. Ask a real question. The goal is to stay connected while they're deciding, because the person who isn't ready in July might very well be in October, but only if they still remember you exist. And here's the bigger point in all of this. You cannot control how long it takes for someone to make a decision. I really wish you could, but you cannot. But what you can control is whether your business is helping them get to yes, or keeps throwing obstacles up in their way that make it harder for them to hire you. So stop resetting the clock, make the decision easier, give people a reason to trust you, and stay in that conversation long enough for the yes to actually happen. I know none of this is particularly exciting, but honestly, that is the damn point. This is how you build a successful service business that pays you well and lets you have a life. Curious, have you noticed that your potential clients are taking longer to make decisions right now? And if you are, how long are we talking? Weeks? Months? Let me know in the comments. Honestly, I've seen everything I've talked about today in my own business for years. Some of my best clients did not find me on Monday and hire me on Friday. They listened to the podcast. They were on my email list. They watched what I was doing for months or even years until something changed until the problem bubbled up to the point where it became more urgent. And then the budget and timing lined up because I talked about exactly what they were dealing with at exactly the right moment. From my side of things, it looked like they appeared poof, magically out of nowhere. But they didn't. They had been building the entire time, which is why I'm very careful about deciding something is not working just because it didn't generate an immediate sale. The yes may be in motion and you just can't see it yet. If you want a clearer picture of your biggest business bottleneck right now, take my quiz, The Real Life Rule. It's free, it only takes a couple minutes, and it's going to tell you exactly where you should be focusing in your business. You can find the link below.